arrival of the official party and remain standing for the presentation of colors and the invitation. Wilson, post the side boys.
I now side left or right. Three.
Sound, 2 bells. Lieutenant, United States Navy, arriving. Sound, 2 bells. Lieutenant Commander, United States Navy, arriving. Sound, 2 bells. Senior Chief Petty Officer, United States Navy, retired, arriving. Color Guard, parade the colors.
Color Guard, attention, carry colors. Color Guard, cut. Forward, march.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hospital Corpsman, First Class, Jeffrey Priella will now play the national anthem. Hand salute.
March time, march. Quarter right, march. Color Guard, hope. Present arms.
Thank you, HM1. Color Guard, retire the colors.
Shoulder arms. March time, march. Color Guard, split. Quarter right, march. Forward, march.
Ready, 2. Chaplain Jim Curdy will now deliver the invocation.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we pause for just a moment to recognize your help and presence with us, not only today, but for your help and presence with Lieutenant Jason Eusebio for his 24, almost 25 years of service to our nation. As we have gathered together this morning to celebrate the retirement of Lieutenant Eusebio, we are grateful for those years of service as a Navy corpsman for 16 years and for the last 8 years as a Medical Staff Corps officer. And as we take a few moments to look back, help us to be grateful and thankful for the influence and accomplishments he made as he advanced from the very beginning, serving here in San Diego at Naval Medical Center as an E1, and in the subsequent years advancing to the rank of Chief Petty Officer, and then becoming a commissioned officer, all the way until finishing well here again in San Diego. Help us not only to be thankful for Jay's service, but also inspired and motivated to wholeheartedly serve in the same sacred calling. Thank you for the manner in which he served, service with honor, courage, and commitment, not only in the United States Navy, but also in his service to you, O God. May his legacy continue among us. We thank you for Lieutenant Eusebio's family and their support of his vocation of service in the military and for their many sacrifices all along the way. May today be a great and proud day for Crystal and Jasmine, Miley, Brandon, Riley, as well as the rest of the family that are here or who listen in, watch online, and participate. I ask that they would be able to somehow fully sense the positive impact of this husband, father, son, and extended family member as he has served the Navy with distinction. I thank you personally, God, for being Jay's chaplain, even though we've never been assigned to the same command. I thank you for our 8 years of friendship and the privilege it has been to stay in touch from those days at Officer Development School, where he kind of saved my bacon a number of times in learning how to be a sailor until today. God, we ask your blessing upon this ceremony and upon us, the United States Navy, and the United States of America. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Curdy, for those inspiring words. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Welcome, Commander Owens, Lieutenant Commander Hester, Senior Chief Cruz, honored guests, family, and friends of Lieutenant Eusebio. We are here this afternoon to honor a fellow shipmate, to reflect upon and celebrate his 24 years of dedicated and faithful service to our Navy and country. We are also here gathered to say thank you to his shipmates and Marines whose many superb contributions have made our Navy and Marine Corps team a capable and proud force. Just as this is the conclusion of one phase of his life, it is the beginning of another. This gathering gives us the opportunity to wish him and his family every success in the future as he looks forward to the new challenges and rewards. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to introduce and welcome our presiding officer, Lieutenant Commander Christian John Rowe, United States Navy.
Good afternoon, Commander Owens, Lieutenant Commander Hester, Senior Chief Cruz, Lieutenant Eusebio, honored guests, family and friends. A few months ago, I got a text from Jay asking if I could come back from Europe in June to participate in his retirement ceremony in San Diego. I was sort of shocked and in denial at first, focused intently on that word retirement. It sounded very final. So after I let it sink in, the first actual I thought was, why can't you push it back to July so I can go to Comic-Con? But naturally my response back to Jay was, I'd be honored to be involved, and I am honored to be here today. And the reason I'm honored is I've known Jay for some time now, over a decade, more than a decade. We've known each other since we were HM1s. And ironically, Jay and I met here at Navy 5. And we also worked with HM1 Cruz, HM1 Robinson, Lieutenant Hester, was a Lieutenant Owens? Commander, Lieutenant Owens? Okay. So it's a small Navy. And so now things kind of come full circle here. And Jay's moving on to the next chapter. The part that's hard to believe, hard for me to believe, is that the time has flown by so fast. A lot has happened since we first met. What's not hard to believe is that Jay is ready for this moment. And it's kind of bittersweet. It's great that Jay has achieved eligibility to retire after sacrificing so much of his time and energy for the Navy. to celebrate that. But it's a little upsetting that the Navy and many of us are losing Lieutenant Eusebio. The good thing is we all get to keep Jason Eusebio. And what I mean by that is each of us will eventually put our naval or military service career in the rearview mirror. And like Jay, each of us have attributes or talents that we will carry with us through that transition. Some of these characteristics were with us before we joined the military. Some of them we discovered with the help of the Navy. But these attributes, these characteristics, these personalities, they shape us as people. They give us our own unique individuality. And for those of us in the military, we're told to conform, be uniform, which causes us to cover up our individuality to a degree. But we have to remember that it's our individuality that makes us who we are, and it's immeasurable how much our individuality contributes to the organization. And it's our individuality that we'll need to rely on when our time in service is over. And Jay's no exception. He is truly a unique individual that will thrive outside the military. I have no doubt. I know Jay possesses an impressive personality that will catapult him through this transition, allow him to cruise into life after service. I don't mean to undersell Jay's service history, but I have no doubt his bio is in the program. You can read all about it, and his naval career as Lieutenant Eusebio. But for this transition, I'd like to talk about who Jason Eusebio is. So as I've come to know him, first and foremost, Jay's family. He is a brother, and at the very least, a great friend. He's always inclusive. He invites me and my family to his family's birthday parties, holidays, graduation parties, you name it. He's always been warm, welcoming, and supportive. When my wife and I had our youngest daughter, we wanted to choose some godparents, and we asked Jay to be her godfather. And he was willing, and he does a good job. He does a great job. One year for Christmas, you already know, my daughter built a wish list online to help family remove the guesswork of what gifts she was interested in. Jay bought the entire wish list. I don't think he quite understood how it was supposed to work, but he went all in for his goddaughter, and I can't fault him for that. To me, Jason Eusebio is also an inspiring father. Not just a father, but an inspiring father. He's developed some very talented and motivated children. They rip through college, travel, sing, play 50 musical instruments. They're all ninjas. One is the #1 wrestler in the universe. I think I saw Riley doing spots on Facebook at the age of 3 one time or something like that in the little garage gym. They produce their own comic books. They get to go to Comic-Con. Why are they so cute at Comic-Con? You could say it's their own individuality that drives them, and I'm sure that's true, or maybe it's mostly Crystal. But Jay was always so engaged. He encouraged and supported their talents, and he helped them realize their potential. Jay is an all-around family man. I've had numerous conversations with Jay in which he deeply expresses love for his wife, Crystal. He's a good son to his mom and his mother-in-law. When the Navy schedule gets tough, we often remind each other, family first, but nobody demonstrates that better than Jay does. He makes sure that he's there for all the important moments for the family. Jay's a hard worker. I still feel a little guilty that we didn't try to pursue a master's through a commissioning program, but he's a hard worker. He went back to get a second bachelor's. It's all hard sciences. He took the capstone and he finished it out. There's many more characteristics that help shape the way I see Jay and what he means to me, but he also wants to retire today. So, move on to my point from earlier. Once he retires and completes his naval service, Lieutenant Eusebio will cease to exist within our ranks. But we will be left with our individually unique Jason Eusebio. Again, it's a bittersweet moment. Upon retirement, Jay will continue to be who he is, but he won't be doing it in the Navy anymore. He'll be an inclusive family member, inviting, caring, but the Navy will lose someone that includes others like family and can foster teams, camaraderie, and embrace diversity. Jay will continue to be an inspirational father, but the Navy will lose someone who artfully knows how to help others realize their full potential. The Navy will lose someone who knows how to instill family values in others. The Navy lose someone that is hardworking and knows how to get the mission accomplished, no matter what additional stressors come with it. But it's not over for Jay. I'm glad that we all get to keep Jason Eusebio. Jay is a person that will transition with ease and be successful in the next chapter. And for me, for all of us, Jay will always be a dear friend and family member. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Commander Archuleta. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor to introduce and welcome today's guest speaker, retired Senior Chief David Cortez.
I just want to say it is an honor and a privilege to be here. And thank you, Jay, for the invite. On the way up here, I don't know if you noticed, but I told the Lieutenant Commander that he stole about half my thunder. So, thank you. Job well done. So, I'm going to start off with, and again, he covered a lot of topics I wanted to cover, but I want to make sure that I thank Jay's mom for her great job in raising Jay and teaching him the values of leadership and mentoring and fatherhood. He's a great parent. Again, my thunder was stolen, but for Crystal and Jasmine and Miley and Brandon, are you wrestling 1A? Are you a 1A wrestler? Anyway, he's one of the world's best wrestlers. Look for him on your next Olympics. And then, of course, Riley. He is an absolute great parent. I have had the opportunity to know Jay ever since I retired. Again, I'm a retired senior chief, and in the year I retired in 2003, our paths crossed. Jay was a whole HM2, hospital corpsman second class. He was a preventive medicine technician. I worked for the Defense Health Agency with immunizations, and he was requesting immunizations, and he did that job correctly for all his squadrons that were at 3rd MAW. And never a problem out of Jay. Again, he's just a great leader, and he leads by example. And for those of you that are aspiring, you young petty officers and young sailors, this is the guy you want to follow. This is the guy that you want in your chain of command. Let me see. Let me grab my extra set of eyeballs just to make sure I don't miss anything. Yeah, so, and again, I mean, ever since 2003, and then Jay comes back to the MEF as part of the one MEF surgeon staff, and that was a blessing, because that was during COVID, and he was leading the charge on everything COVID within the MEF surgeon's office. So that carried with it a lot of responsibility. A lot of immunizations for not just active duty, but also for dependents and all that other stuff. So he did a great job and did it well. For those of you that want to know where he came from, if I give you a city of La Puente, you might think, well, maybe I do know where that is, or maybe I don't, and I can give you Rosemead, Rose Hills, Whittier, some of the surrounding areas. But we came from the same neck of the woods, oddly enough, 20 years separated. But we came from the same neck of the woods. And I will tell you that you know where he came from. Because if you've seen Back to the Future, right? Remember the first movie at the Twin Pines Mall? Remember that? Where they came and there was a firing scene, and all that. So the Twin Pines Mall was La Puente Mall. That was our stomping ground. So you know where he came from. There was no gunplay there at the time, right? No, not when you go. But that's where he came from. And I just want to close by saying that he will be missed, because all the time that I've served with the Navy, and I retired for 26 and a half years, and now I have 21, almost 22 years with the Defense Health Agency. He is truly one of the best. He will be missed. Thank you.
Thank you. Lieutenant Commander Jean will now present Lieutenant Eusebio's personal award. Lieutenant Eusebio, front and center. Will the guests please rise? Attention to award. Department of the Navy, this is to certify that the Secretary of the Navy has awarded the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, Gold Star and lieu of 4th Award, to Lieutenant Jason J. Eusebio, Medical Service Corps, United States Navy, for meritorious achievement while serving as Division Officer, Fleet Support Department, Navy Environmental and Preventative Medicine Unit 5, San Diego, California, from August 2022 to August 2024. Lieutenant Eusebio led 12 sailors, directly enhancing force health protection for 81,000 sailors across 73 vessels, achieving 95% health standards compliance that prevented spread of disease and strengthened global health security. As diversity officer, he led 5 events that advanced inclusivity, cohesion, and operational effectiveness. Lieutenant Eusebio's superior performance of duties highlights the culmination of 24 years of honorable and dedicated service. Lieutenant Eusebio's exceptional professional ability, personal initiative, and dedication to duty reflected credit on him and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. Given this 10th day of May 2024, M.A. Gregg, Captain, Medical Corps, United States Navy, Commander, Navy and Marine Corps Force Health Protection Command. He will also be presented with certificates of appreciation from Presidents George W. Bush, Barack H. Obama, Donald J. Trump, and Joseph R. Biden. Lieutenant Commander Jean will now present Lieutenant Eusebio's wife, daughters, and son with the Certificate of Appreciation. Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Navy. To all who shall see these presents, greetings.
Greetings.
To Crystal Eusebio, by the authority vested in me, it is my pleasure to express a grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you for your unselfish, patriotic, and devoted service during your husband's military career. Your unfailing support and understanding helped immeasurably to make possible his lasting contribution to the Navy. To those who say a single man cannot make a difference, I say wrong. Your husband did. He made our Navy stronger and kept our nation safe. With his service to the Navy now complete, he will be able to spend more time with you in the future. The United States Navy thanks you, and I say thank you. Given this day, first day of August 2024, E.A. Owens, Officer in Charge, NETMU 5, United States Navy. To Delma, Jasmine, Miley, Brandon, and Riley Eusebio, by the authority vested in me, it is my pleasure to express a grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you. Enduring the frequent and long separation from your son and father as he served his country, these months, indeed years, that he spent away from you constitute a clear and noble demonstration of his love for you and his family. You see, he left you in order to ensure that you inherited a safer world, a surer place. He made our Navy stronger and kept our nation safe. With his service to the Navy now complete, he will be able to spend more time with you in the future. The United States Navy thanks you and your father for enduring these separations. Given this first day of August 2024, B.A. Owens, Officer in Charge, Medical Service Corps, 95, United States Navy. Hospital Corpsman Second Class Candace Smith will now recite the military child poem, The Dandelion.
The official flower of the military child is the dandelion. Why? Dandelions put down roots almost anywhere, and it is almost impossible to destroy. It is an unpretentious plant, yet good-looking. It is a survivor in a broad range of climates. Military children bloom everywhere the winds carry them. They are hardy and upright. Their roots are strong, cultivated deeply in the culture of the military. Planted swiftly and surely, they're ready to fly on the breezes that take them to new adventures, new lands, and new friends. Military children are well-rounded, culturally aware, tolerant, and extremely resilient. They have learned from an early age that home is where their hearts are, that a good friend can be found in every corner of the world. They learn that to survive means to adapt, that the door that closes one chapter of their lives opens to new and exciting adventures, full of new friends and new experiences.
Thank you, HM2 Smith. Thank you, Lieutenant Commander Genre, for helping pass out the gifts. Hospital Corpsman First Class Amber Shannon will now read The Navy Life.
A Navy wife is no ordinary woman, operating for months at a time without the companionship or assistance of her husband. She routinely overcomes challenges that would give average person a nervous breakdown. Part doctor, part teacher, and part handyman, she can lavish loving care on a sick toddler, help a teenager with his algebra homework, and track down a faulty circuit breaker, all while holding down a full-time job. With 30 minutes notice, she can serve breakfast, lunch, or dinner to 14 hungry sailors and still somehow balance her family's meager grocery budget. She can press a set of dress whites to inspection standards, tie a perfect square knot in a military neckerchief, and pack a sea bag in the cold hours before dawn. For months at a time, she must settle for letters instead of kisses, emails in place of hugs, and long-distance phone calls in lieu of her husband's touch. She manages to smile when her sailor is at sea for the second anniversary in a row, and accepts the fact that there's a 1 in 3 chance that he will have to stand duty on her birthday. She has learned to stand on a pier and wave goodbye without tears, even when her heart is breaking. To her children, she is a chauffeur, umpire, psychologist, spiritual advisor, financial consultant, part-time father, tooth fairy, Santa Claus, and the Easter Bunny. To her husband, she's a friend, lover, partner, confidant, and soulmate. She is a patriot. She is the sort of citizen that all of us should be, but so few of us are. She lives with sacrifice because she believes in the right and ideals that her husband defends. Although she wears no uniform, she is a part of that defense, a vital link in the chain of freedom. Although she wears no medals and will reap no glory on the field of battle, she is a hero in the truest sense of the word. She is a Navy wife.
Thank you, HM2. We are pleased to present Lieutenant Eusebio with his shadow box on behalf of retired HM1 Gus Hurtado, who is unfortunately unable to be here today. The tradition of presenting a shadow box to a retiring sailor is born of early seafaring custom. In the days of sail, It was considered bad luck for a sailor, upon final departure from a ship, to allow his shadow to hit the pier before he himself departed the ship. In order to ensure no such misfortune would befall their shipmate, the crew would construct a box of the finest timber and place within it things of special memory from one's naval service. Only then could the man with the shadow of himself in hand safely depart the ship and go ashore once and for all. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is the moment we've all been waiting for. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Lieutenant Jason John Eusebio.
It's actually perfect height for me. First of all, I want to thank all my friends, family, for being here to celebrate this day with me. Thank you, Commander Owens and the FU leadership for all your support, as well as everyone participating in this ceremony for me today. Might go a little bit off script here because it's kind of, but thank you, Dave Cortez, for being my guest speaker. You know, we understand each other, and that's why I'm so happy that you're here for me. Thank you. Chris, Lieutenant Commander John Rowe, thank you for coming all the way from Rota, Spain to be my retirement officer. He was also my first promoting officer too, so I think it's awesome that he's doing both. But would you have really been here if I wasn't the godfather of your daughter? And of course, the chaps, my friend Jim. You know I always need a prayer or two, so I'm very glad you're here. Oh, and a very special thanks to my co-sponsors, Chief Miranda, Chief Salazar. You guys put a lot of time into this. You know, we had a lot of curveballs thrown at us with the chapel, finding a color guard, amongst other things. But it looks like it came together, so I thank you so much. Thank you. Whew. It has been a very long, drawn-out 25 years of service. Many of my friends and mentors have already retired. And also said many times, you stayed in way too long. But you stuck it out. When I first came into the Navy, the plan was just to do 4 years. But then the 4 years turned to 5, 5 turned to 6, 5, 7, and now we are today, almost 25 years later. A lot has changed since 2000. My family grew, and the need to support them was different. Growing up, my siblings and I never talked about, growing up in a broken home. Because regardless, with all the negative things around us, we always excelled in everything we did. I was the baby, so I was the most spoiled and most hard-headed. But it was that hard-headedness that made me determined to excel in everything I did. And I learned that from my mom, so I thank you and I love you very much. I never planned on being in the Navy, but it was always a consideration. Because before the Navy, I really loved my life. I was singing in a boy band, chasing a dream. I was fighting because I love to fight. And I was basically working out all the time in all the gyms I worked at. Nothing could be better. But I was 24 years old with no medical or dental insurance and no college degree. So I needed a plan, and that plan led me here today. I was doing too many things in my early adulthood to have structure. So the Navy gave me that. I joined the Navy to see the world, but I ended about 2 hours away from where I grew up. Hey, I'm not complaining. San Diego is awesome. It's been my home for almost 20 years. But when duty calls, you go where you must. I've been to some cool places, and I've also been to places that were never on my bucket list, and places I wish I'd never seen. And although I became a statistic of a deployment divorce, it turned out for the better. That road I was on that was broke, it was that broken road that led me to a better life. And you guys know me, family is everything. It's something that was instilled in me my whole life. Mom, I can still remember coming home to you and telling you I joined the Navy. And I saw how hurt you were because I know you wanted to blame someone for the decision I just made. And it was always just you and I living in an apartment, sharing one car, waiting for you to come home from work so I can, I can build. When you're done with work so I can go and pick you up. But, hey, Rach, I can't ask for a better sister. Me and you share a lot of times, good times and bad times together, The bad times such as looking for a new home when we lost our home, to the happiness of, graduating high school together. Hey, the Motel 6, we had cable and a pool. We didn't have it before. And our next door neighbor was Denny's. So, My big brother John, who can't be here today because Hollywood calls again. Sorry.
Take your time.
But I know in spirit is here. Which brings me to my sister-in-law, Wendy. You see me at my worst, and you kept me here, supported me. And although you weren't right there, you were always that shoulder to cry on when I needed you. So I'm very happy you're here. Now, get back to my brother. He is who made me who I am. So he's the one to blame. He was my teacher, my coach, my corner man, and he was my best man. At an early age, he protected me. He taught me how to take punches as well as give them. And I know I stressed him out more than anybody. But he always made me make my own decisions, even if they were wrong. Now for my own family. My three oldest, Jazz, Mai, Bam, we've been through a lot together. And it wasn't fair to you at an early age to experience what you did when I deployed in 2008, 2009. Jazz, you had to become the protector of your younger sister and brother. You guys shielded your younger brother from anything negative around him so he wouldn't know what's going on. But it was that time that made you guys much closer. You guys are the reason why I kept going even at my darkest days. Even when the law tried to keep us apart. I had a chief at that time, Chief Enriquez. Is that there? You're a big part of my life, brother, and I love you for being there the whole time. Those are the longest months of my life. I made a promise to myself that I'll never let you guys feel what I felt when I was a kid. But unfortunately, you guys had to. That feeling of loss just eats you up. But it's those types of experiences that I will not endure or let anyone else feel that make you who you are. And because of those experiences, I feel I became a better father for you guys. As your father, I always wanted the best, and I always wanted you to be happy. Your guys' happiness is all I needed. To watch you guys grow up was the biggest joy of my life. Jazz, I'm so proud of you. You don't need a Navy to be happy. Someone will get you. You're going to be starting your second year of college or grad school. You're going to be all right. My talent. I'm always going to be your biggest fan. Just keep doing what makes you happy, and you'll be okay. Bam. My not-so-little guy, my champ, my road dog. Always keep that good heart of yours and that connection you have with people. Don't ever lose that. That's special. I love you, champ. I love all you guys. Riley, my baby girl. You're the one that makes me laugh. You might even be more of a clown than your older brother. I will be able to watch you grow up without any worries of ever leaving. Your mom and I are very blessed to have had you. You are a miracle baby. My wife, Crystal, you have been my heart, my anchor, and the one that directs me in life. You make me realize that there's always something better. It didn't take dodging bullets in Afghanistan to make me realize I was going to marry you. Right, Mario?
That's right.
But it definitely sped things up. You have been my biggest supporter, my best friend, and the greatest mother anyone can ask for. Not many people, date a guy, a single father with 3 kids, let alone raise them as their own. So, this retirement's about you two. You didn't have a retirement ceremony. You retired after 20 years of service in 2013 and became a Navy dependent. You had to wait until now to finally be done with the Navy. We're almost there, baby. Like I said before, the Navy has been a long, very long road. I had some good times and some bad times. And I learned a lot from everyone, from good leaders to bad leaders. But I would always cherish those memories. And I would definitely not forget where I came from. I actually see someone here today, Commander Antoine. I just wanted to say thank you. I know we kind of lost touch over the years, but on our deployment, thank you for not letting me throw that TCN over the Iraqi oil plats when he almost killed us. I wouldn't be here today, so thank you for doing that. So, when you know it's time, it's time. Whew. Everything happens for a reason. Even in those darkest times, there's always light. And for me, that light is now. So, thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant, for those eloquent remarks. The flag holding ceremony represents the same principles on which the freedoms of our proud country were originally founded. The portion of the flag denoting honor is the canton of blue containing the stars, representing the states of our veterans, of all generations who served in uniform. The canton field of blue dresses from left to right and is inverted when draped on a pall on a casket of a veteran who has served our country in uniform and made the ultimate sacrifice in defense of our freedoms. In the armed forces of the United States, retreat accompanies the securing of the American flag. It signals the end of the duty day and provides an opportunity for honoring the flag, taking pride in rendering proper respect and to recognize the freedom it stands for. At the ceremony of retreat, the flag is lowered, folded in a triangle fold. The red and white stripes are folded into the blue like the light of day vanishing into the darkness of night, and is kept under watch throughout the night as a tribute to our nation's honored dead. The next morning it is brought out, and at the ceremony of reveille, signifying the start of the duty day, is run aloft as a symbol of our belief in the resurrection of the body. Chief Petty Officer Luis Tunaki will now recite the folding of the flag.
The first fold, in honor of the 13 original colonies and our forefathers who founded this great nation. We salute you. The second fold, to the men who died in the War of Independence. We salute you. The third fold, to those men who fell in the War of 1812 to preserve our freedom. We salute you. The fourth fold, to the brave soldiers on both sides, the North and the South, in the Civil War, we salute you. The fifth fold, to those who shed their blood in the name of hope and freedom in the Great War, we salute you. The sixth fold, for those who have gone before us and died in the terrible battles of World War II, Pearl Harbor, Anzio, Midway, the Bulge, Iwo Jima, Guadalcanal, Normandy, and Berlin, we salute you. The seventh fold, to the men of the 1st Marine Division who in a rear guard action at the Chosin Reservoir in Korea saved their battalion and the lives of their brother Marines, we salute you. The eighth fold, for the brave men and women of our armed forces who died on the fields of fire in Vietnam and whose names will live on forever on that hallowed wall, we salute you. The ninth fold, for those who lost their lives and suffered by the horrific and unspeakable terrorist acts of September 11, and those who continue to pay the ultimate sacrifice in action during our post-9/11 operations, we salute you. The 10th fold, for our emergency response personnel and on-site first responders, police, firefighters, paramedics, doctors, and nurses, we salute you. The 11th fold, to God, our parents, and our families, who we love and respect, we salute you. The 12th fold, to the men and women of our armed forces, the arsenal of democracy and the hammer of freedom, we salute you. The 13th fold, lastly to freedom, because without freedom, there is no honor. Without honor, we are not Americans. And on this, we vow that as long as this flag flies, we salute you.
Thank you, Chief. Chief Petty Officer Anthony Castille will now recite the passing of the flag. Flag detail. Post. Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony you are about to witness honors our nation's most cherished symbol, of freedom, the Stars and Stripes.
Forward, march.
The flag is ceremoniously passed from one sailor to the next in honor guard formation, culminating with the flag being presented to Lieutenant Eusebio.
Up.
I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over great institutions of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. When I'm flown with my fellow banners, my head is a little higher. My colors a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshipped. I am saluted. I am respected. I am revered. I am loved and I am feared. I have fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years. Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox, San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, the Argonne Forest, Eusebio, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, Guam, Okinawa, Tarawa, Korea, Vietnam, the Persian Gulf, and scores of places long forgotten by all, except by those who were there with me. I was there. I led my sailors and Marines. I followed them. I watched over them. They loved me. I was on a small hill on Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle-worn, and tired. But my sailors and Marines cheered me, and I was proud. I was at Ground Zero in New York City on September 11th. As cowardly fanatics attacked America, I was raised from the ashes of a once proud building by brave firefighters. Heroes who risked their lives to save others, showed all that America, although bloodied, will never be beaten. Those who would destroy me cannot win, for I am the symbol for freedom of one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of countries that I have helped to set free. It does not hurt, for I am invincible. I've been trampled on the streets of my own country, and when it is done by those whom I have served in battle, it hurts, but I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped away the surly bonds of earth, and from my vantage point on the moon, I stand over the uncharted and new frontiers of space. I have been a silent witness to all America's finest hours, but my finest hour comes when I'm torn in strips to be used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle. When I fly half-mast to honor my sailors and Marines, and when I lie in trembling arms of a grieving mother and the gravesite of her fallen son or daughter, I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave. Dear God, long may I wave.
The flag that is being presented today
Left. Face.
was flown at 1st Marine Expeditionary Forces Headquarters,
And
Camp Pendleton, California.
Ready, two.
Flag detail. Post.
Thank you, Chief Cassier. Senior Chief Petty Officer Marion Cruz will read the Chief Petty Officer Creed.
Will all Chief Petty Officers, past and present, please rise and cover for the reading of the Chief's Creed and remain standing. During the course of initiation, you have been caused to humbly accept challenge and face adversity. This you have accomplished with rare grace. Pointless as some of these challenges may have seemed, they were valid, time-honored reasons behind each pointed bar. Your faith in the fellowship of Chief Petty Officers was necessary to overcome these hurdles. The goal was to instill in you that trust is inherent with the donning of the uniform of a chief. Your intent was to impress upon you that challenge is good, a great necessary reality which cannot mar you, which in fact strengthens you. In your future as a Chief Petty Officer, you will be forced to endure adversity far beyond what has thus far been imposed upon you. You must face each challenge and adversity with the same dignity and good grace you have already demonstrated. By experience, by performance, and by testing, you have been advanced to Chief Petty Officer in the United States Navy, and only in the United States Navy, the rank of E7 carries with it unique responsibilities and privileges you are expected to fulfill and bound to serve. Your entire way of life has changed. More will be expected of you. More will be demanded of you. Not because you are an E7, but because you are now a Chief Petty Officer. You may not have been merely promoted in pay grade. You have joined an exclusive fellowship, and as in all fellowships, you have a special responsibility to you. This is why we in the United States Navy may maintain with pride our feelings of accomplishment once we have attained the position of Chief Petty Officer. Your responsibilities and privileges do not appear in print. They have no official standing. They cannot be referred to by name, number, or file. They have existed over 100 years because chiefs before you have freely accepted responsibility beyond the call of printed assignment. Their actions and their performance demanded respect of their seniors as well as their juniors. It is required you be the fount of wisdom, the ambassador of goodwill, the authority in personal relations as well as in technical applications. Ask the chief is a household phrase in and out of the Navy. You are the chief. The exalted position you have achieved, and the word exalted is used advisedly, exists because the service, character, and performance of chiefs before you. It shall exist only as long as you and your fellow chiefs maintain these standards. It was our intention that you never forget this day. It was our intention to test you, to try you, and to accept you. Your performance has assured us that you will wear the hat with the same pride as your comrades in arms did before you. We take pride and deep sincere pleasure in clasping your hand and accepting you as a Chief Petty Officer in the United States Navy.
Thank you, Senior Chief Cruz. Retired Chief P.J. Daly will now read the Chief's retirement creed.
You have, on this day, experienced that which comes to all of us who serve on active duty in our Navy. I say our Navy because your departure from active duty in no way terminates your relationship. By law and tradition, U.S. Navy retirees are always on the rolls, ever ready to lend their service when the need arises. The respect that you earned as the Chief was based on the same attributes that you will now carry into retirement. You should have no regrets. Do not view your retirement as the end of an era, but rather as orders to a new and challenging assignment. to a form of independent duty. Remember well that you have been and will always be an accepted member of the most exclusive of all fraternities, that of the U.S. Navy Chief Petty Officers. The active duty chiefs salute you. And salute. Ready, two. I wish you the traditional fair winds and following seas. Brothers and sisters of the mess, Navy Chief.
Navy Pride.
Navy Chief.
Navy Pride.
Navy Chief.
Navy Pride.
Thank you, PJ Daly. Please be seated. HM1 Shannon will now read the wife's watch.
While her sailor answered the call from the sea, she stood on the shore fighting down the fear that he would not return. In his absence, she had to deal with car repairs, home maintenance, financial worries, children's injuries, and illnesses. All these and more, she has taken in stride so that her sailor can proudly serve our nation. Today, the sideboys are posted and the bosun stands ready to pipe. And as she has for so many years, a sailor's wife stands waiting on the shore. Soon, the pipe will sound and her sailor will come ashore for the last time. His watch stands relieved, so too does hers. We gratefully honor her courage and steadfastness and offer our best to both of them for their new life as they now begin.
Thank you, HM1 Shannon. Today, our Navy has given most of the pomp and circumstance, the honors, traditions, and ceremonies that are part of our proud history. Time does not give us the freedom to do these things from the past, but we still have to stop all engines, lay about smartly, and drop anchor to pay homage to one of our shipmates going ashore. To honor the years of service, the guidance, the leadership, the friendship, and the expertise that Lieutenant Eusebio has freely given these 24 years. At this time, the presenters will now recite the watch.
For 24 years, Brother Jay has stood the watch.
While some of us lay about the bunk at night, the sailor stood the watch.
While some of us were in school learning our trade, this shipmate stood the watch.
Yes, even before some of us were born into this world, this sailor stood the watch.
In those years when the clouds of war were seen brewing on the horizon of history, this lieutenant stood the watch. As he cast his eye ashore and saw Crystal, Miley, Bam, Riley, and Jasmine needing his help and needing his guidance, this sailor still stood the watch.
Today, we are here to say, Lieutenant, you stand relieved. Relieved by those you have guided, mentored, and trained.
HM1 Jackson, relieve the watch.
Aye, ma'am. Lieutenant, you stand relieved. We have the watch.
Bosun, stand by to pipe over the side. Navy Lieutenant, going ashore.
All right, man. Sideboard. Okay. Sure. Left or right. Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remain standing for the duration of the ceremony. Benediction and the piping ashore of Lieutenant Eusebio and his family. Attention to discharge and fleet reserve. Honorable discharge from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. This is to certify that Lieutenant Jason John Eusebio was honorably discharged from the United States Navy on this first day of August 2024. This certificate is awarded as a testimonial of honest and faithful service. Emily A. Owens, Commander, MSC, USN, Officer in Charge, NEPMU 5. Fleet Reserve of the United States Navy. This is to certify that Lieutenant Jason John Eusebio was transferred from active duty to the Fleet Reserve of the United States Navy on this first day of August 2024 after 24 years of service. This certificate is awarded as a testimonial of faithful and honorable service. Emily A. Owens, Commander, MSC, USN, Officer in Charge, NEPMU 5. At ease. Would all officers and chiefs, past and present, please line the red carpet. Chaplain Curdy will give the benediction.
Let us pray. God, we've been blessed today to participate in this important moment in the life of Lieutenant Eusebio and his family. Our hearts are filled with gratitude and thanksgiving for all that has been accomplished for good in his career. And now we pray for Jay. That's how he'll be known from now on. As he steps away from his duties, we ask that you would give him wisdom for the future as he starts grad school in sports science and rehabilitation and gets to coaching part-time. We pray that you would bless his family as they work together in this transition to civilian life. May that process be an awesome adventure with your presence as a guiding light. Thank you that he will not be doing any of this alone. He will have you and wonderful people to move forward in life with. We thank you for honoring us with your presence, O God, and we thank you for the opportunity that we have to celebrate throughout this day. Eternal Father, strong to save, whose arms have bound the restless wave, who bids the mighty ocean deep its own appointed limits keep. O hear us when we cry to thee for those in peril on the sea. In your holy name, amen.
Lieutenant Eusebio will now report to Lieutenant Commander Genro and request permission to go ashore for the last time.
Sir, request permission to go ashore.
Permission granted. Go ashore.
Sound 2 bells. Lieutenant, United States Navy, retired, departing. Sound 2 bells. Hospital Corpsman, First Class, Crystal Eusebio, United States Navy, retired, departing. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the retirement ceremony. On behalf of the Eusebio family, sorry, strike 2 bells. Lieutenant Eusebio, United States Navy, retired, and family departing. Now I'll get it right. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the retirement ceremony. On behalf of the Eusebio family, thank you all for coming and sharing the special occasion with us. This concludes the ceremony. Please join us for refreshments in the hall next door.